Today we've been talking about the fallout of former President Trump's criminal conviction on 34 counts of falsifying business records.
Yeah, now there are questions about how this could impact the upcoming presidential election this fall, or will it? Dr. Melissa Borja, an assistant professor at the University of Michigan. She calls Indianapolis home. Thanks so much for joining us today to kind of give us some perspective. We appreciate that. We want to start out with former President Donald Trump running for office again, now with a felony conviction. These are really uncharted waters for our country, especially now that we're in the midst of election season.
Yes, I think we can't emphasize what an unprecedented situation we are in. We have a former president who was convicted. Even questions like, will he, as a convicted felon, be able to vote in the state where he calls home, Florida, is a question. And that's also in addition to the question of whether or not he'll be able to be on the ballot. So we are really, as you say, in uncharted waters.
So how will this conviction impact voters as we head into November? Is this going to sway people at all? Because I've seen both sides essentially kind of become more entrenched in the last 24 hours or so.
I think that's right. And I should remind everyone that 5 months is a political eternity. A lot can happen between now and November. But some early polling suggests that it might not actually have a big impact on what happens in November. So just yesterday, NPR PBS NewsHour Marist had a poll that found that 67% of registered voters nationally said it makes no difference to their vote if Trump is found guilty in his hush money trial. So that's a lot of people who said this is not going to change my choice at all. 17% reported that they would be less likely to vote for him if he's convicted. Interestingly, 15% said they would be more likely to vote for Trump if he were convicted. So we'll have to see, but my guess it's not actually going to have a big impact on the election itself, because also Trump and Biden are very familiar characters to voters. So what people chose in 2020 is probably likely going to be what they're going to choose again in 2024.
This could, though, have an impact on how both of them campaign. We've already seen them mention it a little bit. How do you think President Biden, then, on his side, will use this as a campaign opportunity, and should he tread carefully?
Yes, if there's anything I'm interested in seeing is how the people around Trump respond and recalibrate their strategy moving forward. So Democrats, will they dwell on this issue knowing that negative partisanship in opposition to Trump is very mobilizing to their base? Or will they focus on other issues that they know their base cares about, things like reproductive rights? My guess is they're going to talk about both. You can do both things at the same time, but it could look really different in different places. And the conversation could play out very differently in Florida versus, say, Indiana, and could shape the races down the ballot. I also have big questions about how Republicans who are less loyal to Trump will respond to this, how independents who are maybe wary of the political process will respond. So again, lots of questions, lots of things could still happen. And I think we should pay attention to what happens at the national level, but also at the state and local level.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, 6 months is a whole lot of time.
For sure. Well, thank you so much for talking with us, Dr. Borja. We certainly appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
And we have much more on this trial and former President Trump's conviction and what happens next. You can check it out on WTHR.com.